Have you ever noticed how some people live almost invisibly online? They scroll, they read, they observe, but rarely, if ever, do they post pictures of themselves. No selfies, no profile updates, no look where I am moments. It's not that they're hiding. It's that they choose what the world gets to see and what it doesn't. In a time when everyone's life is a public gallery, their silence feels mysterious. But that quiet has meaning. Let's uncover the deeper psychology behind it, the mindset of people who don't need to show themselves to prove themselves. In psychology, this starts with one word: orientation. People who rarely post pictures often value control over how others perceive them. They decide what version of their life is visible and what remains sacred. They're not antisocial or secretive. They're selective. Every post, every image, every caption is a small piece of personal identity offered to the public. And these individuals understand the weight of that exchange. They don't post impulsively because they know that once something is online, it no longer belongs entirely to them. It belongs to opinions, judgments, and strangers. So instead of sharing constantly, they build mental boundaries. It's not rejection of the world, it's protection of peace. They aren't avoiding attention. They're simply choosing freedom from it. While most people seek validation through hearts and likes, they rely on self-validation, a quiet confidence that says, I don't need to be seen to feel worthy. That restraint is not weakness. It's emotional discipline. Psychologists use a term called self-concept clarity. It means knowing exactly who you are without needing others to define you. People who don't post much often have this clarity. They're not confused about their identity, their values, or their direction in life. They don't need to chase trends or mirror others to feel relevant. Their happiness doesn't depend on how the world reacts. It flows from within. For them, social media isn't a stage. It's just a tool. And tools don't define the craftsman. While others chase the dopamine rush of notifications, these people find joy in stillness, in reading, observing, learning. They understand that real growth happens quietly, and that meaning doesn't always need an audience. That kind of self-awareness is rare, and it's powerful. In emotional psychology, this is called secure self-esteem. It's a kind of confidence that doesn't need applause to survive. People with secure self-esteem don't post pictures to prove their beauty, success, or happiness, because they already feel those things internally. They don't need the world's mirror to see their own reflection. Research shows that emotionally secure people are less anxious, less approval-seeking, and more focused on real-world goals. They don't live for external validation. They live for internal growth. When you don't depend on likes to feel good, you take back control of your emotions, and that's emotional maturity. So, the next time you see someone silent online, remember, their quiet might not be shyness, it might be peace. Some people post to connect, others post to perform, but those who stay quiet, they're usually thinkers. They process before they speak. They feel before they share. They don't chase relevance. They chase meaning. They post only when something genuinely matters to them. This comes from a cognitive principle called internal locus of evaluation, meaning they judge themselves by their own standards, not others. They don't need the algorithm's approval to validate their worth. They prefer real conversations to public declarations, and truth to trendiness. When you live like that, you don't lose yourself in the noise, you rise above it. In a world built on comparison, silence becomes a shield. Many who stay low-key online understand something most people ignore. Social media doesn't reflect reality. It distorts it. It creates what psychologists call the social comparison trap, a cycle where people constantly measure their worth against someone else's highlight reel. But these quiet observers? They've stepped out of the race. They understand that endless scrolling can turn into emotional erosion. So they choose peace over performance. They're not hiding. They're healing. Not detached, just discerning. They choose privacy not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Their silence isn't emptiness. It's a statement. I don't need to be everywhere to feel I belong. So next time you come across someone who doesn't post their pictures, don't assume they're shy, insecure, or antisocial. They might just be more grounded, more emotionally intelligent, and more comfortable with themselves than most people online. They've mastered the art of existing without broadcasting. They don't need to be seen to feel seen, and that's not indifference. That's evolution. Because real confidence doesn't shout, it whispers. And sometimes the loudest presence in a digital world is the one that doesn't speak at all.